What are teaching resources? Teaching resources, teaching materials, or teaching aids are any type of material or technological support that facilitates or fosters the teaching and learning process. They are usually used by educators in pedagogical or training institutions as a way to complement or make their work more efficient. There is no strict and universal concept regarding what is and what is not a teaching resource. Basically, because anything can be, as long as it fulfills the function of facilitating learning or adapting it to the specific needs of a certain type of student. For example, some resources will allow significant learning, with high student participation, while others will rather serve as communicative support for the teacher or simply as reinforcement material. Although there is no agreement regarding the nomenclature of these elements, some authors prefer to establish a difference between didactic resources. In some cases, it is used to designate the material elements that serve as aids in the teaching process, such as pencils, markers, or the blackboard. Didactic materials. It is usually used to refer to the elements pedagogically arranged in advance to facilitate the learning process, that is, to the resources ex professo for teaching, such as textbooks, audiovisual presentations, etc. However, in this text we will use them as synonyms. Functions of teaching resources. Given the possible diversity of teaching resources, their specific functions can be many. Still, they can be summed up as: provide guidance, especially in complex themes and topics, proposing alternative learning routes, mnemonic rules, etc. Simulate situations or events, to show in a controlled environment how they occur in real life. Motivate learning, that is, awaken interest in knowledge in the student. Evaluate student performance in a specific topic or in the matter as a whole, in order to know how much of the learning was successful. Importance of teaching resources. Teaching resources allow teaching to be adapted to different forms of learning. Teaching resources are essential in any educational model. On the one hand, because they stimulate the transmission of knowledge and allow it to take place according to different models and forms, which is vital considering that not everyone learns in the same way. On the other hand, they usually incorporate the most modern technical and technological resources into the teaching, which allows the updating of the teaching, allowing new dynamics and academic experiences. Types of teaching resources. Teaching resources can be classified as follows. Permanent work material. Everything that is used daily in teaching, either to keep track of it, illustrate what was said, or allow other types of operations. Informative material. Those materials in which the information is contained and that are used as a source of knowledge. Illustrative material. Everything that can be used to accompany, enhance and exemplify the content taught, whether visual, audiovisual, or interactive. Experimental material. The one that allows students to verify through practice and direct experimentation the knowledge taught in class. Technological stuff. These are the electronic resources that allow the generation of content, its massification, etc., using above all the so-called ICT. Examples of teaching resources. All the materials of a scientific laboratory are examples of didactic resources. Some examples of resources and teaching materials are blackboard, chalk, erasable markers. Projectors, such as video beam, sheets, billboards. Learning software, audiovisual sequences, online encyclopedias. Scientific laboratory material, experimental practices, field exercises. Textbooks, dictionaries of various kinds, notebooks, pads of sheets. Rulers of different types, calculators, compasses, squares. Models, simulators, organization charts, graphics.